So I recently had somebody reach out to me on social media and ask me the question, how do I get started investing in the stock market? Is that you? Would you like to know how to get started investing in the stock market? Or maybe you've already started and you'd like to maybe know a little bit more about what you can do to continue onto that more intermediate or advanced phases. In this video, we're going to talk about the first steps necessary to be in or to start investing in the stock market. So if you're interested in learning how to invest in the stock market, this is the right video for you. My name is Paris Clough, and this is Financial Self-Reliance. I absolutely love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money. And in this video, we're going to talk about ways that you can grow your money by investing in the stock market. The first thing you want to do when you're going to invest in the stock market is you're going to want to make sure that your budget is set so that you know exactly how much money you can put into the stock market every single month. How much money do you have set aside? Is it a couple of dollars? Is it $100? Is it a couple $100? How much money do you have set aside or that you can set aside every month to go into the stock market investing? That's one of the most critical things that you can do, is make sure that your budget is set up and ready to go. And then make sure that you have all the other critical steps in place, because investing is where you want to make sure that you're using money that you can afford to lose. So you want to make sure that your emergency fund is set up. You want to make sure that your insurances and that your debt and your credit cards are all on a pace to be paid off, because you don't want to lose a bunch of money or any money with your investments and then get stuck into even more debt or be in a financial hardship. So the first step you want to do is make sure everything is in place so that your budget's in place, your emergency fund is in place, your insurance is in place, and you're managing your debt properly. All right, now we're ready to whatever dollars that you have left over after that. Now we're ready to start investing that money. So the first thing I would say is you want to pick a platform. You want to pick a place where you can actually invest that money. So let me show you a couple on this website here. This is actually shows you some of the top brokerages. So there's Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, Interactive Brokers, JP Morgan, Webull, Ameritrade, Robinhood. I use Webull, and then another one over here called M1 Finance. Those are the two that I'll show you at the end of this video. I'm going to log in. I'm going to show you using the Webull app, and I'm actually going to show you using the M1 Finance app some of the things that you need to do, actually how you buy stocks. So that would be the first step, is pick a brokerage. Pick a place where you can actually go, and many of these have apps that you can download. You can go to their website and set up an account and have a username, password, and set up your account, and then you go through what's called an investor profile. They want to know a little bit about you, about your income, about your experience, and be honest. Just let them know that you're brand new, you're just getting started. They're going to ask you questions about your income, about your savings. They're going to ask you questions about your time horizon, and your time horizon is really important to note. If you're young, you have a longer time horizon, and it's okay to say you don't need the money for 10 or 20 or 30 years. If you're older and you're closer to retirement age, put that down. Let them know that you're going to be retiring in a little bit. So it's important for you to be honest in that investor profile as they get to know you as a client. So answer those questions honestly as possible. The second step you want to do is you want to know what kind of investor you're going to be. Are you the kind of investor that wants to pick your stocks actively? You want to do the research, you want to find the right ones, and you want to pick them based on their performance and their potential and all those things. You want to do the analytics. Or do you want to just basically put money in every month and then just forget it, like 10, 20 years down the road, open up your account, or maybe once a year you look. I wouldn't necessarily say put money in there and then don't look at it again for 10 years. I would say put money in there and probably review it once a year at least. But are you the kind of person that's going to be set it and forget it? Or do you want to be more active in your investment strategies? So if you're going to have a little mixture of both, one of the things I suggest is that if you're going to be a passive investor, which is just put the money in there and let it do its thing, you're definitely going to want to be involved in what's called indexed investing. Indexed investing is super simple. Matter of fact, Warren Buffett said he was asked what if he was to teach his children or his family what to do. The number one thing he would tell them to do is just pick an index fund and put all your money in that. So it's really not that easy to pick the right stocks. In fact, most money managers can't even outperform the index funds. Like 80% or something like that is the number of active, like professionals that are trying to pick the best stocks ever. Those guys can't beat the market or the index 80% of the time. So that kind of gives you an idea that having, whether you're active or passive, or whether you want to be really involved or you want to just kind of set it and forget it, it's still a good idea to have some indexed funds in your portfolio. So that's probably the first place that we'll start as I share with you some things here, but I'll also show you how to buy individual stocks. If you want to be a more active investor where you're picking this and choosing the stocks, I would start with stocks that you already know, maybe companies that you already have in your daily life. For example, if you have a Verizon cell phone, go look at Verizon stock. If you have AT&T or if you have T-Mobile, go look at those stocks. If you have a Ford or a Honda or a Toyota or whatever car you're driving, go look at those companies. Look at the companies of the products that you're already buying, because the likelihood is that they're going to be good, strong, solid companies that are going to be around. If they've been around for decades, they're probably going to be around for decades into the future. Although that's not always a guarantee. However, it's always a risk, and so you're basically making sure that you have the best odds possible. The third step you want to do is kind of determine, once you have some companies in mind, you have some stocks in mind, maybe some indexes in mind, do you want to have an investment that's going to be more growth oriented, where you're really appreciating? Let's say you want to have your $100 that you're investing this month turn into $1,000 in 20 years. So, or that's kind of that growth mindset. You want the money to grow into something, a great balance that you're going to then be able to access down the road. Or are you somebody that's more interested in income because you're kind of close to that retirement age and you want to have that income? It's called income, but usually what happens is that you take that money that you get from your stocks, which is called a dividend, and then that dividend, you can reinvest it back into the companies and continue to buy more stocks. Now, there's a lot of good growth companies that also pay dividends. So you can actually dip into the best of both worlds, which is what I like to do. My favorite type of investing is dividend investing, where I pick good, strong, solid companies that are growing their stock value and also paying a dividend at the same time. So I get to have the value and the growth and the income. I like growth and income. Some people just want growth, and there's reasons for that. And some people just want income. So it kind of up to you. So that's the kind of thing I would think about is, do you want to have more of an income stream because you're a little older and you need it? Or do you want to have more of that growth because you've got plenty of time to really be in the market and let your money go? So that would be the next step that I would say. Now what I want to do is I want to actually log into my Webull account, and I want to show you on my Webull screen exactly how you would invest or buy a stock. Okay, so this is my Webull account, and let's say if I was to scroll down here and I wanted to buy some more Ford. Remember, I told you, pick companies that you already know and you are already aware of. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come to here where it says transfers, and then you want to come to deposit. And so you come here and you do a deposit. When you initially start the account, you're going to have to connect your bank account to the Webull account, or to whatever brokerage you choose. You're going to have to connect the two so that you can do transfers, and then you transfer money into the account. The next thing you do is once the money's in the account, then you come here and you go and you do a search. So you go to the search bar, and let's say you want to buy some Ford. So F is the ticker symbol for Ford. You can actually type in Ford, F-O-R-D, and that will bring you Ford right here. Ford Motor Company, so F right there. So right now, if I want to trade it, I click on the button that says trade. So I come here and I go to trade, and then it will say buy. So I'll click on, now what I do here, I'm not going to buy it right now because I don't want to do that, but a limit order type is if you want to buy it based on a dollar amount you want to spend no more than or no less than. Market is another option here, and market is where you buy it or sell it no matter what the price is, just whatever it is at the moment you sell and buy, that's the price you're okay with. Whatever price it is, that's what you are okay with. Now what's cool about Webull and other brokerage firms now is that you can either buy a whole share of then let's say for example that a share is $15, so you'd have to have $15 to be able to buy one share. But let's say you had $100 even and that you wanted to invest. Well, 15 doesn't divide into 100 evenly, so you'd have a fraction, if you will. So this actually here where it says amount in, and then it has the button that says share, you can click that and you can go to dollar amount. So you can say I want to buy $100 of Ford, and then what that will do is it'll say down here, it'll say you can buy 7.8 shares. So I would own 7.8 shares. So the cool thing about Webull and other brokerages like them is that if you don't have enough money to buy a full share, you can put whatever money you have in there, and then you can get whatever you have. And so if I click the buy button right now, it would buy 7.8 shares. It would spend $100 and buy 7.8 shares of Ford Motor Company. And that's literally how you would buy every month. You could come in here and manually set it to go. Okay, so this is my portfolio in my M1 Finance account, and this actually shows where I could go in here. Up here at the top, I can do research, and so I can search by symbol or company name, and it gives me the opportunity to, again, if I wanted to buy Ford, I can type Ford in here, and Ford Motor Company comes right up, and I click it, and then I look and see what I'm doing, and I can see all the different dividend yield is 9%. That's a really good dividend yield, by the way. So it's $12 a share. I can probably buy a lot of shares. If I have $100, I can buy 7.8, as we know from Webull. And so, but this is a new brokerage, so a different brokerage. So we can take a look and see what we have here. So I can add it to the portfolio. And then what happens is M1 Finance works a little bit differently than Webull. M1 Finance allows you to set up percentages. So I have to get 100% total. I have indexes here. Let me actually go back here and show you this. So under M1 Finance, what you do is you set up slices of the pie of your portfolio. Your portfolio is a whole pie. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. And then when I click on each one of these slices, then there's slices within those slices, and that's the actual stock. So for example, in my index slice of my portfolio, I have actually the VTI, which is the total stock market, which is the S&P 500 plus small cap stocks. Then I have BND, which is Vanguard Total Bond, and I have VXS, and I have QQQ, which is the NASDAQ. So these are the 4 indexes that I have in this percentage of the pie. So if I wanted to add another thing, I'd go here to edit, and I would add a slice, and then I would go here and I'd pick Apple or Microsoft or Google. None of these are things that I want to have in my index slice, so I wouldn't put it there. But if I wanted to add something else, that's how I would do it. I would go to the slice that I want. I would go to edit, I would add a slice, and then I would go and pick the stock that I wanted. And as you can see, there's all kinds of options here. There's Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, which is Facebook and their affiliates. So this is how you invest money in M1 Finance. Now, if you want to start your journey in stock market investing with Webull, there's a link in the description below for you to be able to access Webull. And there's also a link in the description below if you'd like to access and start your journey on M1 Finance. Now, I do have some playlists on how to use Webull and how to use M1 Finance specifically. And I'll actually be doing more videos in the future on how to use each of these platforms specifically. So there'll be playlists for you to be able to watch those as you grow and as you determine, as you learn more about your journey in the stock market. I hope this video was helpful to get you at least started, at least get you in the right direction, point in the right direction, and being able to buy your first shares of your first stocks in the stock market and begin your journey in the stock market. If you missed the last video I produced, you can catch it here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel up here and check out this video up here that YouTube thinks you might like. Until the next one, have a great day.